Welcome back, everyone, to Pirate Talk Radio. This is episode 131. I hope everyone is doing fantastic. I know a couple of you stopped by the stream this last Saturday when we were doing our Saturday sale with the crew. Had a lot of fun talking to everyone who was able to join. Some of I believe I saw Geffus hop into the guild as far as joining the sailing of the day, just because of the gilded missions and everything going on. So it was nice to see his ship online when I was also playing. Remember, you guys can join the Pirate Talk Radio Game Legion guild. All that you have to do is become a patron. Patron membership start at $1 a month, so you can join the guild if you would like and support the content at the same time. I know Skimelt and Geffus and Big Bad Pat are already in the guild and sailing quite a bit. But if any of you are patrons, and we'll talk about the patron as we always do, and thank them a little bit later. But all you have to do is be in the Discord and message me and let me know who you are on Patreon. And it should link automatically if you have your account set up, and I can get you into the guild as soon as I am available. Also, if you've got a significant other that you sail with, by all means, we can add them as well. So you can, if you sail with a friend or whatever. I don't want to add a whole bunch of people, but definitely each person can have a +1 if they would like. So you can sail together and earn all those lovely, delicious rewards. So a lot of things going on right now in a way, and a lot of things not really going on in a way. So I know I had some conversations in the stream with Jimmy, who's a long-time listener to the show. Thank you, Jimmy, for tuning in and always being supportive in the chat. And he brings up a very good point, which is nothing in this season really brought him back to playing at the level that he was playing before. And I could definitely see where that is true, right? The things that we got, the harpoon, Captain Sparrow walk, the zip lines for quick transportation, and we got the new weapons, and that's about it. Let's be honest. Now, those are cool things. They're things that we've never seen before. They're tools that are now in adventure, that were in Tall Tales, and the new weapons, and there's definitely some fun things that were added. But as far as new things to do, that is definitely lacking. And when I say new things to do, I'm talking new stories. Obviously, we haven't had an adventure for a while. We haven't had Tall Tales since Monkey Island, which honestly wasn't that long ago. And with the PlayStation launch, there wasn't anything new for us as far as, I would say, story content or new voyages or a lot of stuff like that, right? They revamped the voyage system, which is beautiful and works out very well. We got the Gilded voyages, which we'll talk about in a little bit, and some of the issues that unfortunately crept in with the Gilded voyages this past 2 weeks. But the story has kind of died again. It's very common for those of you who've been around Sea of Thieves for a while. They come up with some new story content. They state that they're going to keep it going on a cadence, and then it just stops. And I don't know why. I don't know the real story behind why they come out with these really cool things that the community seems to enjoy. I mean, adventures were absolutely fantastic. Getting story that wasn't Tall Tales and time limited, that was obviously a concern from a lot of people. Is if you're not there playing the story when it was out, you don't really have any access to that story afterwards. So I know that was a challenge. But they talked about adding a video catch-up feature where you could watch at least the cutscenes from the story. But again, that's kind of died out prior to Monkey Island. We had Tasha with her bone hand, and well, Tasha still has her bone hand. And in fact, I thought there was a graphic glitch or they changed something, because I was by her and I didn't see the stone hand, and so I had to move around for her to move. And once she moved, I saw the hand. So it's yeah. But like the Briggsy story kind of died. I know we have the I guess maybe the next step of that, but it's really a world event, which is the Skull of Siren song. Kind of pushes that in a direction. But Briggsy's now working with the Pirate Lord for some reason, and it's just, I don't know. There seemed to be a really good momentum with with the adventures. Now I won't say the same with the mysteries. I think the mysteries were a hit but a miss, right? There were a small percentage of people who really took the mystery seriously, really dove into them, did all the on in-game stuff, which was minor, and a lot of out-of-game stuff to kind of solve those mysteries. But in general, the majority of the population, one, didn't even know about the mystery, or two, could care less about it because it wasn't in game. And we've talked about many times how I think if you're going to do something like that, it needs to be in game. There are definitely business analytics of why they don't put those things in game, right? You want click rate through YouTube, you want click rate on your Twitter account and all your social media. But in general, I don't really take part in anything that's outside of the game for a game, unless it's like watching a video or something to get a Twitch drop or something. But I'm not going outside of the game to learn about the story that's currently going on in the game. It's something I don't like, and it seems like it's something a lot of people don't like because they didn't take part in it. And what I will say is, I think the very first mystery was worse than the second one. And the second one made some improvements, definitely made some improvements, but it still was not there. It still did not grab the attention of enough players, in my mind, to constitute keeping them going. Now, they are definitely, from an outsider looking in, a lot less touch time than adventures, right? You don't have to worry about cutscenes. You don't have to worry about special instances like Tall Tales, where you go into your own little Sea of the Damned and kind of work through things. So it looked like there was a lot less touch time on the development side for mysteries, and therefore those would be the things that, obviously with the small team that Rare has, would be what they want to target and want to make better and want to get people involved in. But they seem to have stopped that, and they have also seemed to stop adventures, which folks liked. In fact, I just saw this week, Hitbo was mentioning he misses the events. You know, we got the Gilded voyages, we've got Golden Glory coming up, which we'll talk about, but he misses the adventures, and he misses these pop-up events that they did every so often. They don't have to be adventures. You know, he mentioned kind of the Meg Hunt stuff, the you know, where you joined together and killed the shrouded ghost. That it was an adventure, but that kind of thing, right? What was some other ones? I'm trying to remember what he mentioned, but just talking about different events that kind of cycle. There's the Summer Olympics type thing that they did. I mean, we've got the Summer Olympics coming up again this year, and in fact, it's over in Europe. One of the major reasons that I was planning on going over to see a Thieves Fest again this year. I missed last year. I was thinking about going just as an attendee this year, but the costs right now to travel during that time because of the Olympics are astronomical, to a point that I can't afford that. So maybe in a future year, when they don't have an international sporting event going on in Europe, maybe we might be able to get back over there. I would really like to. I really had a good time that first year. Met a lot of folks who listened to the show. So I'd like to get back over there. But you know, Sea of Thieves used to have summer events going on, where you would do, you know, parkour stuff and things like that for awards. And it does feel that they start things. Some of the stuff the community gets buy-in on and they like it. Some of the stuff they don't, which is always something you're going to be looking at when you're trying to innovate your video game. But they just keep stopping. And even things like adventures that went over really well just kind of stopped, and we don't really have a good, clear idea of when it's going to come back. We see that right now with the emissaries. The emissary rewards are on a indefinite hold. And again, we don't know when those might come back and new rewards. Now, for me, that allows me to catch up finally. But for other folks who they play this game and this is their main game, that is a driving force for them to log in and play every single month, or every single, I guess every single season, is to get the new emissary ledgers. And to have that suspended, adventure suspended, just so much stuff basically suspended, I have to say that Jimmy and other folks who have voiced this to me are 100% correct. It's like they just abandon things, and maybe they'll come back to it later, maybe they won't, but especially the things that players love and players are into, I just have it just very hard for me to understand why you abandon that stuff, why you allow players to be disappointed when they're getting into something, right? Now we'll see what happens with season 13. Obviously, we know. I believe season 13 is when we're going to get the new world event with Flameheart's ship that you can take over the ship. Maybe that will have some story behind it in game. Maybe it will have maybe another adventure. I don't know. They haven't really talked about it. Talking about consistency, the podcast is not been happening. So, there's that. So it's kind of like we start things, we get on a schedule, and then all of a sudden the schedule is flipped upside on its head and things just get stopped. And it's really disappointing. I am, as anyone who has met me, my personal friends, my family, they know I'm a creature habit and they know I like consistency. And the reason I have been successful in life through business and through life is consistency. I might not want to do something. I might be tired. I might whatever, but I try to be consistent. Now, those of you listening right now are like, well, then why was it 2 weeks here and a month here before your episodes? Look, let's be honest. The podcast does not pay for my life. So when it comes to having to take time, sometimes unannounced time to take care of, bills and working dumb hours. Like yesterday, I woke up at, 2 o'clock in the morning. It was because of an issue. Like those kind of things happen. And unfortunately, the podcast doesn't pay for the bills. It doesn't pay the cheddar for me to survive in life. It doesn't pay for the house and stuff like that. Work does. So that unfortunately always comes first. But I try to be consistent in this. But working out, I've been consistent with that. My diet has been relatively consistent now that I've gotten back on a schedule after COVID. Taking care of myself has become a huge priority. When it comes to work, I have a very strong cadence. And it's fascinating to me because in my career, I have been moved around to different positions. I've went and got different positions. But I keep the same core values and the same core consistent work behavior and expectations for my team. And it doesn't matter what type of team I've ran, doesn't matter what type of project I've ran, I keep that same consistent behavior. And I've just recently, as I talked about, we had a big layoff at work and I just got a whole new team that I've never handled before. And in a matter of about 2 weeks, I was able to instill that consistent behavior that I've always had and instill it in them, and we're rocking and rolling. And it was a big culture shock to them because a lot of them have been around for, 10, 15, 20, 25 plus years in this company, in this position. They just enjoy that particular job. And a new person coming in and, shaking up the bucket is oftentimes very difficult. But because of the consistency and because of the longevity that I've ran this consistency, it was easy. And it was a matter of 2 weeks and we're rocking and rolling. Rare seems to miss that consistency. And I don't know if it's a cultural thing. Obviously, we know one of the big cultural things, and I personally love that. And I wish it was something that was here in the United States, and that's time off. Obviously, we've seen where Rare mentions, it's summertime or whatever, and we've got a lot of time off, so there's going to be less stuff going on. And I get it. And sometimes I struggle and sometimes I complain because here in the United States, for anyone listening in the United States, literally like time off, what is that? Like you do the job, you get paid to do the job. Sometimes, especially if your salary, you get called in at all hours and you truly are, working to live, not enjoying your job and living to work. Right. So Europe has a very different culture around work. Obviously, they work hard. There's no question there. But it's hard for me to understand, and I know a lot of folks to understand when they've got a whole bunch of people taking time off for whatever it is over the summer or over the winter, and not much is getting put out. And it's just different, right? They are a European studio. And so definitely develop and work on a very different schedule than folks in the United States, right? You're looking at a Blizzard or a Bungie or something like that. And, it doesn't matter if it's summer. It doesn't matter if it's Christmas. It doesn't matter what time of year it is, what holiday is going on, what season. They're pumping out content. And when you're looking at your players and you're looking at the folks, investing time and their money into your game, those companies are obviously viewed at much higher levels than Rare is. We're talking about Tuesday resets. All servers reset on Tuesday. Hot fixes coming in every single week. New content on a quarterly basis or a monthly basis. And it's boom, boom, boom. Doesn't matter what time of year it is. Doesn't matter the holiday. Doesn't matter. Boom, boom, boom. They keep it coming out. And that is obviously strenuous on development teams. It's strenuous on QA teams. It's strenuous. But I hate to say it because it's really not good for people and it's not good for the workforce, is to be working nonstop without taking long breaks and just not being able to. It is bad. So I do value Rare allowing, a good chunk of their team to be off, to spend time on holidays, to spend time, taking time to themselves over the summer to enjoy with their families, whatever the case may be. But the downside of that is you're also not putting out the content. So therefore, trying to keep asses in seats playing your game, people are going to go to other games which are powering out that content, powering out quality content and fixing issues on a weekly basis. And I don't know if Rare will ever get to that point, right? I was on the stream, I was talking about the PS5 launch, which we talked about in the last episode. Was it a great launch? No. Was it a good launch? Well, that depends. A lot of people think that it was a crappy launch. A lot of PlayStation players were asking for their money back. They weren't able to get into the game. They weren't able to download it early. Just constant struggles. Fixing one thing broke stuff on the Xbox. Like, there were a lot of issues. But my counter argument to that is, look at the past issues that Rare has had during a release. Server crashing. Unplayable for everyone. Many, many issues that go weeks, months without being adjusted and tweaked. Old issues that have resurfaced. If we look at Rare's track record, the PlayStation 5 relaunch was actually done quite well. But again, we have to look at this and say, okay, here's the quality we expect. Rare consistently comes in under that. Other games hit that or maybe go above it. So if we drop that expectation to Rare's level, where they don't hit all the time, let's be honest, for Rare, PlayStation 5 was quite successful. Now, if you turn to another AAA studio and you're looking at Blizzard, you're looking at, the folks who make Elden Ring, you're looking at the folks who make Destiny 2, all these other games, no, it wasn't a good launch. It wasn't a good launch at all. But that's, again, we have to set our expectations. It was good for Rare. It wasn't good in terms of the industry. So I thought that was an interesting conversation that I had on stream this last weekend. And it was a fun conversation that a lot of people took part in. And it really, you really look at, again, it's a big studio as far as name, as far as titles. But in terms of competing with the other big boys in the gaming industry, Sony and Blizzard and all these different big names, and I know I use those a lot because those are, let's be honest, Bungie and Blizzard. Those are pretty much the other games that I play other than Sea of Thieves. So those are the ones I compare it to. I know everyone can compare it to their own favorite publisher, but it's for me, I don't play a lot of games, as everyone should know by this point. But if you compare Rare to them, Rare has never met or beaten the expectations of those same group of developers, right? We're talking about big names with big titles, right? When you look at Rare, Sea of Thieves might not be the biggest title out there, but it is a flagship title for Xbox. If you look at Rare's past, you're looking at 007, you're looking at Perfect Dark, Banjo-Kazooie, you're looking at large titles that really impacted the gaming world in a positive way, and players loved them. So if you're looking at that, we're equivalent to a Blizzard with a Warcraft. We're equivalent to a Bungie with a Destiny as far as brand title recognition. Now, does everyone know that Banjo-Kazooie was made by Rare? Probably not. I didn't for the longest time. Does everyone know 007 or Perfect Dark was made by Rare? Maybe not. You plug in the game, if you have a copy of one of those old games, and before a da-da-doo, da-da-doo, da-da-da-da, the classic 007 N64 version, during that little lead up to that iconic hit is the Rare coin that flips the R. It's there. But again, people might not think back there, think about that. I sure as heck didn't. I've learned a lot about the history of Rare playing Sea of Thieves and seeing the Easter eggs, watching their videos and things like that. I've learned a lot. But that's what we have to keep in mind is they have big IPs in their wheelhouse, what they've done. And so in my mind, we should be able to compare them to Blizzard and Sony and Bungie and other Xbox titles, right? We should be able to compare it to them because those names are iconic in gaming and they've there. But the difference is, unfortunately, with Sea of Thieves being their first live service game, they've struggled now for 6 years to find that rhythm, to find that consistency, and to live up to the expectations of all these other games in the market. If Sea of Thieves did weekly resets and really put a hard focus around consistency, I believe that they could compete with a Bungie and their reoccurring story. Like Bungie releases new story content. It might be short, might be like 30 minutes. New story content during a season every week. Every single week, there's new story content. Again, might be short, might be 30 minutes to an hour of playtime, but every week it's coming out. Every week we have hot fixes. Every week we have something new to do and unlock. And Rare just hasn't found that rhythm. They haven't found that time. And I don't necessarily know if in their behind closed doors meeting, if that's the game that they want to have. I don't know. It's the game that I think a lot of players crave because that's what we see in our other games. But I don't know if that is the vision that Rare has for their game. All that I know is the lack of consistency is very prevalent in comparison to my life and also to the other games. So let's dive into some of the stuff that we've got recently. Gilded Voyages. So Gilded Voyages we've had for the past week and a half, 2 weeks? I don't remember the exact timetable. They do end by the time this podcast is out for the general public. The Gilded Voyages will be over. That is May 23rd. They'll be out. If you're a patron and listening to this early, make sure you get in there and get your Gilded Voyage. All that you have to do is do one, and you unlock a tattoo set. And the tattoo set is actually kind of cool. I was inspecting it from someone on stream, and there's like spider webs on the elbows. There's like this diamond prison tattoo tier thing. There's this really cool on your abdomen, your stomach, what looks to be like the fort logo where it's got like a skull and then walls on either side. It's a really cool tattoo set, kind of combining different themes across the histories of Sea of Thieves into one tattoo set. And then there's a hamburger on your arm. I don't know where that one comes from, but there's a hamburger. I'm sure it's not supposed to look like a hamburger, but it's a hamburger. And they were fun, right? There were Gilded Voyages for each of the trading companies. But there were also issues. So let's first talk about the different voyages, right? You have the gold hoarders. You had to dig up, I think it was 3 chests on 5 islands, I think it was. The Order of Souls, you had to kill skeletons on multiple islands. Obviously, Merchant Alliance, deliver stuff. Athena had a kill skeletons, it had dig up chests, and it had deliveries. And one thing I do want to mention about the deliveries, I really like the change they make to the voyages of delivery. So I'm sure there's players out there who don't like this change because they would cheese it and just pick the stuff up and drop it where it is, and it would count as voyage completion, right? It wouldn't give you the gold that you're supposed to get for actually delivering the stuff. But as far as completing the voyage, you pick it up, the voyage is done. It falls off your thing. Now, the voyage actually stays on your wheel as an active voyage until you trade the stuff in at the end point. Here's why I like that. One, a voyage is sending you on a mission. That's the point, right? Dig up a chest, kill a skeleton, whatever the case may be. Just being able to pick up the stuff and drop it, that's not a voyage. You didn't actually do the mission. You grabbed the stuff that you're supposed to deliver and just dropped it at the person's feet or in the water so it would despawn. You didn't complete the mission. Therefore, it shouldn't count as a credit, and therefore it shouldn't fall off your wheel. It should stay on your wheel until you've completed the task. And now it does. Again, I'm sure there's some people out there who are annoyed by this and don't like this, but in my opinion, it follows in line with what a voyage is supposed to be. So I do like that. Now, here's some challenges that happened during the Gilded voyage that was unfortunate, and I wish it was caught in QA or hotfixed this last week, which we just talked about their consistency in hotfixing, so we'll move past that. First issue, diving. So if you use a Gilded voyage and you dive to the voyage, there is a chance, based on current server performance, that you will be permanently locked in the tunnel between servers. So you have to log out or cancel the voyage. What happens when you cancel the voyage? Well, you don't get it back. So I know this happened to community members that reached out to me. Now, what I will say is this was reported up to Rare, and the Gilded voyage was returned to them, which is good. That should be what Rare did. But at the end of the day, if you put the voyage, if your voyage is on the new table, it's not a scroll, and you put it down, and because of their game's issue, you have to cancel it. It shouldn't just be lost. And I know it's coded that way, so if someone uses their voyage out of the old system, when you used to have all the voyage cards on your pirate, and you put it down and canceled it, well, yeah, sure, you lost it, right? But now with the table, and now understanding that it isn't, in fact, the player's problem that your tunneling system does not work well and locks up or crashes, that the players are losing their voyages. I personally think the voyage should always, they should have coded it so that the limited time voyage is always available until you have completed it. Once you've completed it, then it can disappear. And I'm sure there's other if and situations with the coding where if a buddy of yours does it, you complete it, it would take yours because you've completed one. Again, all it takes is some time, some thought, and some good code, and you can get around all of that stuff. But instead, we have bad code. We've got lost voyages. And I'm sure there's a lot of people who are just like, oh, this is stupid. I lost my voyage, blah, blah, blah. I don't report it. But at least Rare, for those who are reporting it, are getting their voyages back. That's the first major issue. The second major issue that I had reported, and it actually happened to me, and it was very frustrating. I wanted to get my tattoo set, so I put down a voyage. And before I even got to put a knife in the voyage crashed my game. So I go into the UI. I go to the box that says, what did it say? It said Gilded Voyages on the map table. I clicked it. Game crashed. Logged back in. Clicked it again. Game crashed. Logged back in, went to the other navigation pane, went to limited time voyages, click Gilded, game crashed. Logged back in. Click limited time voyages, and it said, you no longer have limited time voyages available. I had crashed, and it had counted that I had placed the voyage on the table, and it's gone. It was gone. So all my Gilded voyages I didn't get to do because the game crashed because of bad servers, bad code. And that was very disappointing. Now, thankfully, I have a great crew and a great group of friends. And with my playtime, they were able to throw down one of their precious voyages. We did it, and I got my tattoo set. But it is very frustrating that the servers crashing is causing so many lost voyages on a limited time event. And in all honesty, there's nothing special about these voyages. They're the classic dig, kill, deliver voyages. They're just that you get better loot from them. And there's maybe a couple more maps than some of them. But there's nothing special about these. And the problem is Season 12 introduced more server issues that we're still experiencing, jittering, lagging, desyncing. And we're now almost a couple days away from a month into the season, and we still haven't got them resolved. And in fact, that leads into our next thing, the Golden Glory weekend, which is this weekend, the 24th of May to the 27th of May. And quite frankly, the tweet from Rare says it all. Because of the server issues, it actually said because of I believe it was the Kiwi beards is what it said. And there was one other server issue that it mentioned that they're going to reward the players with a Golden Glory weekend. Well, thank you, Rare, that it's not a voyage of we're sorry again. And I'm glad it's a Golden Glory weekend because those are more fun anyways. But again, they said it themselves. They said it in the PR way of Kiwi beards, etc. But let's be honest, servers are shit. And because the servers are shit and because people are losing their voyages and losing their damn minds, Rare's like, we're sorry, here's a Golden Glory weekend. Which is nice. It's nice. But you know what we would rather have? Fix your damn servers. Fix your damn bugs. Fix your damn exploits. Like, seriously. And keep them fixed. Don't just fix them and then all of a sudden they're broke again in season 13 or they're broke again in a future patch. Just fix them. Just spend the time and fix them. It's driving me insane. But anyways, because of how bad things have been, Golden Glory weekend, get in there, get your gold, have yourself some glory. May 24th through the 27th. And during the 24th through the 27th, you will also have the opportunity to get Twitch drops. So you tune in to a Twitch drop. I think it's partnered streamers again. You tune in and you will be able to get the Eastern wins. I had to write it down because I want to remember. Eastern wins Tankard, Sails, Cannons, and Capstan. And that's, again, 1 hour per drop. So just make sure you tune in a total of 4 hours and you get all the items. For those of you who maybe haven't listened to one of my old school episodes where I talk about Twitch drops, I want to bring to your attention a nice little Google Chrome extension that I suggest everyone get. Now, again, if you watch Twitch on your Apple TV, this isn't going to work. If you watch it on your mobile phone, this isn't going to work. If you watch it on your Xbox, this is going to work. This is for PC, Google Chrome, and it's a extension called Automatic Twitch Drops, Moments, and Points. And basically what this does is you run it in your Google Chrome browser, you activate it, and then any streamer that you watch, maybe you just turn it on and walk away. Any streamer that you watch, that thing will automatically claim any of the points that are given out as far as the watch time points. If you've never seen this, every so often as you're watching a stream, the points button in the bottom, the channel points button in the bottom will light up. And if you click on it, you get bonus points, right? So this will automatically get you those points. It will also get your drops. It'll also claim your drops. So all that you have to do is have that running in Google Chrome and have it up. In fact, since I've used this extension, I have gotten 256,280 bonus points that is claimed for me, and 141 Twitch drops across a variety of different games. So again, that is a Chrome extension called Automatic Twitch Drops, Moments, and Points. So check that out if you're a person who's busy like me, and don't have time to actually go in and watch and then click the claim button. You forget, maybe you're out of town, whatever. Just put it on Chrome, drop it on a partnered streamer who will stream throughout the weekend, and go. You do run the risk of, if they raid someone and you move to a new channel that doesn't have drops, you do run the risk there. But just check in on it every so often and make sure you are on a person who has drops enabled, and it's going to do all the work for you, and you don't have to worry about missing something or missing that claim each hour. Let's take a moment now and recognize the folks I talked about earlier. The wonderful, the glorious, the notorious patrons who support each and every month. I value greatly. So let's rate them off here. We have James, we have iGeffus, we have Elcute, we have Big Bad Pad, and we have Skimelt666. Thank you all for your continued support from Pirate Talk Radio and my content. You come into the streams, we've sailed together, you're in the guild, you're in the Discord. You guys are great, you're amazing. I appreciate it very, very, very much. And if you are interested in becoming a patron, go to patreon.com/DavrimTV, and subscriptions start as low as $1 a month. You do get some behind the scenes stuff every so often when I work on shows. And things like that. So there are some additional perks aside from getting Pirate Talk Radio. You get it at least a day early from everyone else. So you get to listen to the show sometimes up, more than a day early. Just depends on the recording times and things like that. So, and then there's some other perks that you might be interested in that you can check out. But again, thank you very, very much. And again, if you are a patron, make sure you come over to the Discord. You get an automatic, if you've got your Patreon and your Discord linked, you get an automatic color to your name to signify that you are a wonderful supporting patron. You get your own channels in the Discord to do voice comms and things like that. But you also get access to join the Pirate Talk Radio / Game Legion Guild inside the Sea of Thieves. And as I said earlier, that also constitutes a +1. So if you are a patron, you join the patron, make sure you hit me up on Discord. I'll find some time to come in and invite you. And we'll get your +1 in there too, so you can sail with them and continue to grow the guild. I think we're getting close to guild rank 30 now. I think is where we're at. So there you go. Summer events coming up. So my summer is extremely busy. And we'll get to the Sea of Thieves events here in a minute. So I've got a Retro Toy Con coming up on June 1st in Columbus, Ohio. I have Origins Game Fair, which we'll probably do. Hopefully, I'll have some time to do some vlogging and some behind the scenes stuff for the patrons as well for Origins Game Fair. That is also in Columbus, Ohio. Then from there, we go to Fest of Legends. Now, Sea of Thieves Fest over in the UK, unfortunately, as I mentioned earlier, I won't be able to go to due to finances and the cost of travel right now because of the Olympics over there. But I will be at Fest of Legends, which is in Columbus, Ohio, specifically Lewis Center, Ohio, which is the north side of Columbus. That'll be July 19th through 21st. Now, there has been some questions and some comments on Twitter from folks asking, is this a content creator only, like little conference, little get together? The answer is no. This is for all members, all fans of content creators, all players of Sea of Thieves. Anyone who wants to come can come. You just need to go to festoflegends.com and you'll be able to get your tickets there. Tickets are still on sale. There is a hotel that is booked out for Fest of Legends. I don't know how much longer, to be honest. There is for the discounted room rates, but there is a hotel to book if you're traveling in. So all that stuff's there. We have some great creators as well coming to Fest of Legends. I'm not going to be able to name them all because I don't remember everyone. But Crowtuck will be there. I know Captain Logan from the Keel Hall podcast was there. Was it Slothy Bear will be there. They did, if you go to Festive Legends Twitter account, Katie Pierce did a video introducing the creators that have been announced so far. Now, that's also, keep in mind, those are just the creators. There might be creators that are going to be there. Like last year, Carrillo came. There are going to be creators there that you may watch that aren't on any of the creator panels. They're just going to show up and hang out as community members. So I strongly encourage, if you can afford it, if you can come, come. It's one of the best. Just like Sea of Thieves Fest, it's one of the best gatherings for the Sea of Thieves community out there. It's a lot of fun. There's a lot of activities. Race of Legends and Cutlass Crusade will be going on. Vendors, artists. It's just a great time. They always raise a lot of money for charity with those things. So I'm super excited to come again this year, and hopefully take part in a little bit bigger of a way this year. We'll see. Announcements potentially coming soon, but we'll see how that pans out. Maybe it's with the charity, maybe it's with helping around. I think the event is just a lot of fun, and I know not everyone can make it, but you can tune into the streams and support that way as well. But hopefully I'll be able to take a bigger role in the entire organization this year and just really have fun and meet everyone. So again, if you listen to the show, if you know someone who hasn't listened to the show but is going, get them interested. Share the show out there. Let's get as many people listening to the show who we can. So share the video out from YouTube. Share the podcast out if you're one of the people who listen to the podcast version and not the YouTube video version. I don't know how you YouTube video people watch my face for an entire freaking hour sometimes. I don't. You guys are saints. You guys are amazing people. But yeah, share it out, get it out there, and hopefully some of those folks or some of you folks who are listening right now will be at Festive Legends. I will have, see if I've got some right here I can show. I will have my trading cards. This is actually my box from Festive Legends last year, all the swag and stuff. I don't know how to display it all, but I will have my Davrim pirate trading cards that will be there that I will sign if you would like. I will also sign anything else that you would like, but I will 100%, if you don't have anything to sign or you just want a card, I will have that. And I think I have a limited amount of these left. I don't have many left, but I also have the Pirate Talk Radio stickers. So these are huge ass. Look at the side of my head. They're big stickers, but I will have these as well. Again, I don't have that many left. So first come, first curve type stuff on that. But yep, definitely come and see me if you show up. Like I said, share the podcast out to your friends, to your other pirates out there, and let them know that I'll be there and they can come and meet me and we can chat. I don't know if there's food at the venue. We can always sit. I was sitting down eating, drinking, and playing Sea of Thieves last year quite a bit with people, so it was a lot of fun. But yeah, I hope to see many of you out there. But guys, thank you very much for listening again to another week of the show. I hope you're having fun out there with season 12. I know it's not the most content rich season out there, but there are a lot of funny moments happening with these harpoons and with these new weapons. I'm enjoying the new weapons. Again, like I told Jimmy and like I've been mentioning, with my playtime, there's not enough new stuff into Sea of Thieves to increase the amount of time I'm dedicating to that game and not to other important things like house cleaning. And you should see my flower beds. They're full of weeds, things around the house and stuff like that. There's not enough new stuff for me to pull more time away from that to play the game. But I'm having a lot of fun on my weekend sales. They're about 4 to 5 hours. You can obviously see them on the Pirate Talk Radio YouTube channel or my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/Davrim. We usually start around 11. It just depends on schedules, but usually between 11 a.m. Eastern and 1 p.m. Eastern is when we'll start. And we'll go between 4 and 6 hours, so you can come by and chat and say hello. But there's just, I'm having a lot of fun with the double barrel pistol, even though it's got some quirk to it. I'm having a lot of fun with the throwing knives. Not PvP weapons for me, but I'm just enjoying just chilling out with friends, doing voyages, working on catching up my emissaries, doing commendations. But yeah, there's honestly right now not a whole lot of enough new content in there. In fact, there's no new content in there for me to really dedicate more of my time to that, especially with things like Diablo Season 4, which I've been playing a little bit in the little times that I have in the evening. I'm hoping to maybe go live in the evening. I know the European folks who listen to the show won't be able to watch that because it'll be like 6-7 o'clock p.m. Eastern time for short streams potentially. And then also Destiny. I mean, Destiny, the new expansion comes out in like 2 weeks, so or a week and a half. So there will be that as well. So again, I think season 13 might have enough new stuff potentially to bring me from other activities in life to play a little bit more. We'll see. I know I'm excited to see what this world event with Flameheart ship is all about, but I'm hoping there's some adventure and some story and some things like that that come to the game. So guys, thank you very much again for watching. If you are in the Discord, or any of my contact information is in the show notes below the video or in the podcasting apps, please do reach out to me. Let me know what you'd like me to talk about. I know something I've got coming up in my mind is I have a lot of history books on pirates. I love pirate history, and I'm thinking about with how the game is right now, and with how some of the staleness of the content is with the game, maybe doing some segments in the show each week after we talk about Sea of Thieves and talking about some important pirates and pirate history. So let me know in the comments. Let me know. Reach out. What would you like me to talk about? Are there some pirates that in history that you want to learn more about, or do you think that is something that you would be interested in? A little segment each and every week on a famous pirate of history, or a famous figure of history for that matter. Guys, thank you very much. Take care of yourselves and each other, and I will see you next time on Pirate Talk Radio.